My name is Douglas McCormick. I've been a luthier for 45 years. My father was a saxophone player and I wanted to be a musician. So violin was actually my first instrument. And then I got into high school and then violin wasn't cool anymore. So that's when I decided to pick up a guitar, and it was all downhill from there. One of my first jobs was furniture restoration. I used to have to strip furniture. It was kind of a brutal job. But I did learn a lot about the way wood is structured, the grain, finishing, sanding. Furniture restoration and my playing guitar, they sort of came together. My first wife convinced me to go to guitar building school with William Compiano. He had all the power tools, but he wouldn't let us use them. We had to do it by hand. He was a real drill sergeant. Yes, sir. I would go to Daddy's Junkie Music to get parts or supplies. The luthier there, Sam Orsini, said, "Hey, why don't you submit your resume?" And so I went in and talked to the boss, and he said, "You're hired." And so I started repairing guitars on a much larger scale. I'm blessed with having a long list of customers. Amongst them is Les Paul. It was a gift to him. Steve Hackett, the guitar player for Genesis, I actually gifted him an instrument I made called a dulcitar, a chromatic electric dulcimer. Joe Perry of Aerosmith. I did quite a few guitars. I think I counted 16 in total. It was during the period they were doing Get a Grip. One of the guitars I worked on appeared in a video. Guitars are unique. They all have different problems, and that's what attracts me. It's one thing to build it from scratch. You have control over everything. When you're working on a guitar that's already been built, you have to sort of unmanufacture it and remanufacture it all over again. I enjoy problem solving. That's probably from having to create my own solutions to problems because we were too poor to buy them, so I had to make them myself. In guitar repair, oftentimes they don't make a tool for what you need to get done. There's situations where you just have to make something up. You have to be innovative and creative and think outside of the box. Recently, I repaired a Gibson ES330 that the owner had cut off one of the cutaways, and it was just sort of, it looked very funny. It was worthy of being restored back to its former glory. It was a project to finish it and make it look like it didn't happen. That was a challenge. And I was very pleased, and he was very pleased. When he picked it up, I looked at him, he was almost holding back the tears. He was so happy. You know, you don't get that very often. Oftentimes it's a thankless job. Luthiery is a combination of art, tradition, and technology. You need creativity, you need skill, dexterity, and just a true love and motivation to do better. When you finally put the strings on and you tune it up and you polish it up and put it in the case, there's a great feeling of satisfaction. And then it's time to do another one. Aside from luthiery, I also like other types of woodworking. I built my own kayak, which is still floating after 30 years. And you know what? After 30 years, I decided it was time to put a sunburst on it. Over the years, after many mistakes, I've gotten better and better and better. I think I can stop after I repair every guitar on the planet. It seems like there's an unending supply of guitars, so I'm going to live forever.